12, Alex Gittens. Number 15, Tamisha Cohen. And number 22, Andrea Mager. Your starting 5 for the Academy at the Lakes Wildcats. The Baby Rattlers 25-4, defending state champions, ranked number 1 in the state. They are coached by Aman Ali in his 10th year. By the way, Nora in his 21st year with the Wildcats. The Baby Rattlers look like this. Number 10, Janiyah McNeely. Number 14, Ray Jean Garner. Number 23, Jasmine Jones. And number 32, Kiani Sims. And number 44, Lakeris Salter, the reigning 2A Player of the Year. Our officials today, Charlie Brown is the referee. David Diggs and Alex August are your umpires. And we begin the game with a 3. And the try was no good, but followed up and in after the miss by McNeely. It's put in the basket by our reigning 2A Player of the Year, Lakeris Salter.
Yeah, she starts this one how she ended the season last year, making a big shot already.
By the way, the FHSAA Basketball Championships here on the FHSAA Network, brought to you by Florida's Peanut Farmers. We appreciate their support of high school athletics. Ball deflected but saved. And they work it inside. Nice move by Manuel. Tatiana Manuel, who had 27 points in the semis, gets it going for the Wildcats. She draws the foul, and she'll be at the line for a 3-point play the old school way.
Yeah, if you look at her semifinal stat line, you'll take this every day. 10 of 11 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line. So she's got a height advantage. She's 6'2", so she's got 3 or 4 inches on most of the girls, but she's sleek. That's a nice way of saying she's needs to maybe get a little bit stronger, but she can get around. And so look for FAMU to maybe post her up inside and maybe see if they can get her in foul trouble. Foul
was on Kiani Sims. That's her first, team first, even though she missed the free throw. Here's Salter coming back to lay it in. So a good start for Salter, who was in early foul trouble for FAMU in their semifinal game. Loose ball, and we're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow points to the team in white, the home team. The Academy at the Lakes, the Wildcats, as I mentioned, 26-2 on the year. Their win in the semifinals, a blowout win. They jumped out to a 20-3 lead. They led at the end of one against Sheridan Hills Christian, 33-7. They led by as many as 45. They cruised to a 65-24 win. That's the biggest blowout in the semis in a decade. Not since Deerfield Beach beat Palm Beach Lakes 94-38 in the 2003 Class 6A championship. And they thought for a moment they might pull it out for a little while, but now they attack the glass. Good look to the baseline, but Salter comes over and blocks the shot of Alex Gittens.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't believe what we're talking about is how good Salter is. She's already scored 2 baskets, had a mega block shot right there, so she's ready to play. You're going to have to keep your eye out on her.
Salter with 15 points, 3 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals in the semifinals. And we call him the Big 3. Salter gets another rebound. Outlet ahead to the freshman. And a lay-in for Jasmine Jones. Jasmine Jones also had a pretty good semifinal. Jones finished the game with a team-high 19 points.
Yeah, and she's just a freshman.
6-2, an early 4-point lead for FAMU. Traveling is called, and the Baby Rattlers will get it back.
Look for Academy at the Lakes. They change their defense a lot. They'll go from full court press to half court trap. You know, Coach Nora, he teaches civil engineering at University of South Florida, so you have a feeling his teams are going to be really well coached with, being meticulous, angles, being at proper places, everything being really orderly.
All right, we'll be coming up on a media timeout here in just under 2 minutes as that ball wouldn't go down for Salter. We called them the Big 3 for FAMU, Will. Salter, McNeely, and Jones. 44, 10, and 23 because, they scored 47 of their team's 53 points in the semifinals. They took 48 of their team's 59 shots.
You might try to figure out where they're on the court.
That's right. So we've played 2.5 minutes, a 4-point lead for FAMU. The Baby Rattlers looking to defend their state title. Bounce pass to Salter. Salter looking to take control of this one early. Feeds it to the baseline. And the shot was blocked, loose ball, and a turnover.
Yeah, that was a really nice pass. I don't think her teammate was ready for it. He hit her right in the hands, and she wasn't able to catch it clean and finish it off.
So Garner turns it over. Full court pressure, and Garner gets the steal. She misses the layup, gets it back. Another follow shot, no good. Tapped out and rebounded by Jones.
One of the things to really look out for as Academy is they really had a pretty easy season. They didn't have a lot of tough competition, not very many close games. Probably, I think it was 80–90% of their games were close to 30-point victories. So, these tight games, they might have to take them a little second to get ready and step up.
That last shot blocked by Tatiana Manuel, 6'2" senior. Manuel averaged 7.6 blocks a game, among the leaders in the state. Salter from 15 feet and rebounded by Manuel, but taken right back by FAMU, but another block by Manuel. Manuel averaged 11.7 points per game last year, but she's been able to up that average to 15.3.
Yeah, she scored almost 500 points this season. Carry that over a 4-year career, that's almost a 2,000-point score. And so she's really looking to score. In fact, when she came in this year, she wasn't much of a scorer. And as we talk about it right now, Coach Norris said, you are a scorer or you will not play.
Well, she's got 4 points. She had a huge region final as that shot wouldn't go down for the freshman. Knocked out of bounds. Jones with a miss. It's out of bounds. Back to Academy of the Lakes.
And that's one of those you don't even get credit for the block, but just by having that size there, it really affects the shot to where she shot that way, way off. So you can't coach size, heart, or speed.
FAMU has taken almost 3 times as many shots. 3 of 11 from the floor. Academy of the Lakes just 1 for 4. There's an open look, and the try for 3 in and out wouldn't go down for Santiago, the 5'8" freshman.
Yeah, she had 28 three-pointers this year, the second on the team. Shoots 41% from the three-point range.
Shot from the elbow, no good by Sims, and rebounded by the Wildcats. 6-4, 2-point lead for FAMU. As we approach our first media timeout, and it appears the Wildcats will try to run some time now.
I was wondering if they were going to kind of do this a little bit. FAMU, I think if most people were being honest, probably a little bit of a favorite coming into the game. So anytime you can shorten the game, if you're sort of the underdog, that gives you a greater chance of winning.
Cohen. And ripped down by Jones.
Contested three-point shots, very low percentage.
There's Salter. Took a step before she put it on the floor. She turns it over. 2 minutes and 57 seconds to play in the opening quarter. The defending state champions, the Baby Rattlers, leading the Wildcats by 2 here in the Class 2A state championship game from the Lakeland Center.
The FHSAA basketball championships are brought to you by the Florida Peanut Producers Association.
Florida's family peanut farmers are proud to grow peanuts, which provide plenty of energy for the viewing and playing of Florida's high school basketball. We appreciate their support. Our final game, here on day 2. 4 games coming up tomorrow, 6 games on Friday, and 4 games on Saturday. Academy at the Lakes and FAMU both here in the Final Four last year. In fact, 3 of the 4 teams that made it this year were here last year in 2A. Congratulations to South Walton. They won their first ever state championship, defeating Chipley. They rallied, went on a 9-0 run late in that game to pull out the victory against Chipley.
That was a really, they had a good crowd. Actually been a good crowd all day today, and that's really nice to see. And I always like watching coaches. I guess being a coach, I like that. And the South Walton coach, you just kind of see, if they took a picture every quarter, you would see, a well-kept, tie on, hair. By the end of the game, the tie's barely hanging on. It's crooked sideways. The hair is a mess. And that's what you get out of a real intense game. And, so congratulations to him and his girls. It's exciting to see, teams, win a state championship and see the excitement that it brings.
FAMU 3 of 13 from the floor, 23.1%. Academy at the Lakes 28.6% on 2 of 7 shooting. Wildcats have been out rebounded by the Baby Rattlers 9-7. Wildcats with 4 turnovers, FAMU with 2. We'll get back at it tomorrow with the 6A semifinals. We begin at noon, and it will be Choctaw and Winter Haven, followed by Edgewater and Norland. That's at 1:30. 3 of the 4, Winter Haven, Edgewater, and Norland were here last year, including Norland, which was the state runners-up.
I was going to say, that's a group that's well-versed in Lakeland.
And Choctaw, which is the newcomer, beat Pensacola, who was here last year, in the first round of the state playoffs.
And Pensacola lost in the state finals the year before to Lakewood, who plays Friday morning at 10. So again, you see these programs, they build up to a level, and it just becomes that tradition. Come back.
Jasmine Jones picked the pocket.
And we say that's a slow dribble. You can't dribble slowly in the middle of a court against a press, because the defense is always coming to get it.
Especially with a team that has the speed of FAMU. Casanello lost it out of bounds.
Yeah, it got stuck way too close towards that sideline. Needed to reverse the ball. Both teams looking to press each other here, which is interesting when you get this far. The better teams haven't been pressed very much. They're playing these schedules where, so that's hard for a lot of these teams here. You saw that in the 1A game, where you start seeing some teams where you can just tell it, even though they're very good, which is why they haven't been pressed, and so sometimes they really struggle with that.
A 3 in the corner comes up short for Barrington, but she gets the steal and then goes over and back.
Yeah, that was a good call. You can tip it in the front court and it goes in the back court and it's not over and back, but I felt like she did get possession of it fully in the front court and then go over and back. We have really good officials across the state here. I can say that now.
So a chance for the Wildcats to tie the game. They trail by 2 with 2:04 and counting in the opening quarter.
It's a really good strategy here. Again, shortening that game. If they're not going to come out and get you, move that ball around a little bit, especially if you feel like you're the underdog a little bit. So if I'm FAMU and I feel like I'm the better team, I'm gonna come up and try to trap or really put a little pressure, because you don't want the game to be very short when you're the better team.
FAMU really dominated in the regionals. They outscored their opponents by an average of 48 points per game. They got tested against Grandview Prep, but again, Grandview Prep was the number 2 team in the state. They built an early double-digit lead in that one before Grandview Prep was able to come back and make it interesting. Layup after the miss, and that's the first basket of the game for Ray Jean Gardner. 3 of the 5 starters have scored for the Baby Rattlers. They've taken a 4-point lead. Manuel against Salter, and Salter blocks his shot.
Yeah, that's her second big block right there. And again, the difference that you see in girls basketball, maybe when you get to this level, some of those bigger girls that have that control to block shots with control instead of out of control and fouling the shooter.
3 from up top by Cohen, and she knocks it down. Tamisha with her first points of the game. She makes it a 1-point game, under a minute to play in the quarter. And back down the lane and shooting it in, Jones, the freshman, with her 4th point. FAMU by 3. Ball poked away. Contact, but no whistle, as it was stolen by Garner.
You'll see Academy of Lakes try to run a sideline transition. They'll try to get that ball ahead to an outlet and then look to the backside. Pull-up jumper number 10, Janiyah McNeely. Third
That's
leading
her
scorer.
first, yeah.
Like you were saying, one of the big 3.
Bounce pass to the baseline. Short jumper wouldn't go down for Manuel. It's out of bounds. Last touch by FAMU. 12.5 seconds to play.
Yeah, I thought Manuel was going to fill back in there to the block, and she probably could have got a layup, but she stayed out wide and had to settle for the jumper. Look for Academy to take the last shot.
And they go back door, draw a foul.
Or just take it to the hoop and get fouled. That's also good.
So with 11 seconds to play, as Jasmine Jones picks up her first, team second. That will put Andrea Mager at the line to shoot 2 shots. Mager shoots 47% on the year, but she hits the first free throw. She stands a little bit closer to the elbow.
Yeah, she's way off. That's good that you pointed that out. She's way off to the left. Normally you're right down the center. And like you said, 47%, although that first one looked pretty good.
Well, the thing that probably should, and I don't know if she shoots that way in a regular gymnasium, there's a depth perception concern here in the Lakeland Center.
Absolutely. I remember the first year we came here, we were a pretty good shooting team, and you just saw all these teams struggling. And so I went and looked at the stats, and out of all the games that were played, teams shot 22% from three-point range.
Wow.
Which is extraordinarily low, especially considering a lot of the teams here are pretty good, obviously. And so that's tough when you're making 1 and 5. And that stat continues to bear out. It's a tough spot.
1 second. They're not going to get the shot off. That's the end of the first quarter with our score. The defending state champions, the Rattlers, the Baby Rattlers of FAMU out of Tallahassee, leading Academy at the Lakes 12-8 into the first quarter here in the Class 2A state championship. Back after this.
Out here away from it all, a guy can get to thinking, what makes peanuts America's most popular nut? Well, for one thing, they've got more antioxidants than broccoli, carrots, or even green tea. Why, they're a bona fide superfood with more than 30 vitamins and nutrients. And the taste, well, that's pretty hard to beat. Yes, when you really think about it, good things happen for a reason. I'm Nick Marshall, and I'm a Florida peanut farmer. I dig peanuts, so you can dig them too.
Mike Rideout along with Will White, head girls basketball coach at St. Pete Northeast. Want to remind you that this game is presented by Florida Peanut Growers, energy for Florida's high school basketball playoffs. Well, White with over 250 career wins, 3-time Pinellas County Coach of the Year. Speaking of Pinellas County, or at least over kind of near that area, I guess, we talked about the depth perception here at the Lakeland Center. The good news is Academy at the Lakes got a chance to practice in the USF Sun Dome.
That's really nice of USS to open that up. Sometimes you see some of the local teams, go find some of the arenas because you're playing these small high school gyms, and then you come here and it's very different. So it kind of takes that edge off a little bit.
Numbers from the first quarter: FAMU shot 33.3%, 6 of 18 from the floor. They shot 25%, or Academy of the Lakes shot 25%, 3 of 12. FAMU out-rebounded Academy at the Lakes by 1, 12-11. And Academy of the Lakes did have 8 turnovers in that first quarter.
Yeah, that's going to have to change if they want to hang into this. And also, FAMU had 6 more attempts, so they're getting a lot more looks. And again, that's pretty much the difference right now because the shooting percentages are pretty similar, all those sorts of things. So just a matter of getting a few more shot attempts. Academy was trying to slow it down, but then they were just taking these real quick shots after they've tried to stall for a little while. So they do need to kind of get organized on offense a little bit more.
FAMU has outscored them in the paint 10-4. Loose ball, diving effort, and it's going to go out of bounds. Back to FAMU.
Yeah, that's one of those, don't touch it, don't touch it. You're yelling as a coach because you know who's it off of.
Four-point lead for the Baby Rattlers.
They're really trying to shut Jasmine Jones down. And, they're guarding her, face guarding her at half court. You see Casanello guarding her over in the corner. Absolute no help side defense. Really trying to make sure that she can't do much.
Salter from the elbow knocks it down. She's got 6.
Yeah, pick your poison, like you said, with the big 3 there. Maybe most times you can really slow down one player if you really focus on that. And you just need other players to step up. And FAMU has other go-to players. So
another turnover for the Wildcats. They're approaching double digits in turnovers here in this first half. Salter. She'll take that jumper. Weak side rebound for Garner.
Yeah, Salter's very non-traditional. If you look at, 5'10", strong, but she'll back cut. She'll hit some jumpers. You hit a three-pointer there by Barrington.
First points of the game for Aaliyah Barrington. And it's the largest lead of the game for the Baby Rattlers.
Nice jump shot. So many girls who go in there out of control and get blocked, but she kind of stopped, let the defender, Salter, go by. A nice little 6-footer. You don't see that much anymore.
Manuel had a big game, 27 points in the semifinals against Sheridan Hills Christian. I mentioned earlier she had a big game in the region final. As that one is banked home, McNeely goes down the lane to bank home her 4th point. But in the region final, Manuel had 28 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 block shots.
Yeah, you'll take that every day as a coach or as a player. Yeah, she's just solid. I saw them play a few times this year, even refereed actually one of their games, and you can just tell she's just really smooth. And again, if you look at her, she's not real strong. She's not quite there yet, but she's got all the moves and the attitude to really take over a game.
That 3 by Barrington, the first of the game. Another turnover for the Wildcats. 4 on 3, but lost out of bounds. I don't know if Jones was trying to go behind the back, what she was doing there, but she lost it.
Yeah, she's got quite a few turnovers already, and it doesn't seem like Academy has really much of an offensive strategy going on right now. They're just kind of stuck between, and are we trying to slow it down? Are we trying to play a little bit? So they kind of have some people standing around. And the fact the press might be good for them, so they can kind of really push the ball a little bit.
Mager misses from 3-point land. And the ball went off of FAMU. So the Wildcats retained possession. Wildcats have only lost twice this year. They're 26-2. FAMU has played a tough schedule. They're 25-4. FAMU lost to Gainesville High, which was a 6A region finalist. They lost to Miami Norland, which is here for the 6A semifinals. They lost to Colquitt County of Georgia.
Yeah, they really, when you have a coach that's had a couple of state championships, he knows to really kind of stack that schedule, what kind of team he's got. So definitely feel like FAMU has played a schedule that's going to get them ready for a game like this. After
a miss, Manuel crashing the boards. She draws contact, and she'll step to the line to shoot 2 shots.
This is something you'll notice with Academy. Whenever somebody's shooting a free throw, it's kind of off screen here a little bit, but the girls would immediately turn around and look at the coach to really understand what's going on. So they're well disciplined, that's for sure.
Manuel now 0 for 2 from the foul line. She shoots 63% on the year, averaging 15.3 points a game. 6 points in the half so far for Manuel. And she rattles it home. Timeout called with 5:34 to play in the opening half. It's an 8-point lead for the Baby Rattlers as Academy at the Lakes, they want to talk things over. Don't forget, coming up, more hoops tomorrow. We begin with the 6A semifinals. As I mentioned earlier, noon and 1:30. Choctaw Winter Haven first, followed by Edgewater and Norland. And then we have some championship action for you coming up tomorrow night. It will be the Class 4A state championship game. It will be Jacksonville Ribault, which leads all of Florida looking for their 9th state title against Coral Springs Charter. That's at 4:35 tomorrow afternoon, followed by Father Lopez and Miami Country Day. It's a 1-versus-2 matchup in Class 3A.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to all these matchups this week. It really kind of seemed like maybe the regions worked out pretty well overall to where the strongest teams are going to be playing each other for the finals. And it's a really good environment here. The crowd cheering loud. This is a good place to come and have your state championship series.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's a lot of teams back from last year. So from an experience factor, and there's some good players too. Salter turns it over. But you look at the number of teams that are here this year that were here last year, as there was a total of 18 of the 32 teams that were in the Final Four last year are in the Final Four this year, including Class 5A, where all 4 teams return.
Yeah, that experience factor, you can't practice pressure. You can run for misses, this and that, but pressure is just one of those things. So having been there, you really start to understand what it's like. You've shot around, you've taken the long bus ride, and that really, really pays off.
Jump ball was called, possession arrow to FAMU. FAMU with an 8-point lead, 5:04 to play in the first half. In 5A, though, Rickards, Lakewood, Bartram Trail, and Dillard all return. Dillard, the defending state champion, they will play Bartram Trail, which was the state runner-up last year, but they'll play in the semis this year. Lakewood in their third straight Final Four, so 5A pretty loaded as well.
Yeah, 5, I'm really looking forward to 5A. I'm going to call a couple of those. That was my special request. I knew that was going to be pretty tough.
Salter with the up and under move, missed the shot, goes after the rebound, can't come down with it, taken away by Cohen. 2-on-3, Cohen splitting defenders, misses the layup.
Speaking of Rickards, FAMU actually played them twice and beat them twice this year. So again, proving that they had a pretty tough schedule and really loaded it very well.
FAMU will reset now, looking for a double-digit lead, and they got the second three of the half. In fact, the second three of the quarter for the 5'5 senior, Aaliyah Barrington.
Yeah, and she only had 11 three-pointers all year, so, she's really feeling it here today.
Averages 5 points a game, so she's already over her average. A three for Mager, short, and Salter with another rebound.
Yeah, Academy's definitely going to have another player step up other than Manuel. Just the FAMU just has too much firepower.
Barrington thought she was feeling it. Wildcats will try to get this thing back to single digits. Gittins.
Yeah, you've seen Academy's turnovers. I like what I call, like in tennis, unforced errors. They really haven't turned it over too much against the press. They're just turning it over without really a lot of defensive pressure. So that's either nerves or inexperience, trying to do too much. So they just need to kind of calm down a little bit.
Foul was called on Sharice Leon. That is her third foul. .342 left in the half. FAMU by double digits. Mager to trigger it in.
The media timeout.
And we do have our media timeout with 3:42 to play in the first half. 22-11. The Baby Rattlers seeking back-to-back state titles. They lead it here in the 2A state championship game.
The FHSAA Basketball Championships are brought to you by the Florida Peanut Producers Association.
Florida's family peanut farmers are proud to grow peanuts, which provide plenty of energy for the viewing and playing of Florida's high school basketball. FHSAA Girls Basketball Finals presented by Florida's Peanut Growers here on the FHSAA Network. Glad to have you tuning in wherever you may be. For the most part, we've had some pretty good games.
Yeah, they've been really excited. I was really happy for, our neck of the woods. Calvary Christian kind of coming here, first ever Final Four. One of the few teams, like we've been talking about, that's kind of their first trip. And they kind of held on to Father Lopez there, who pulled away a little bit towards the end. But I was real proud of Calvary. They had a nice special run, brought basically the whole school. That's the good thing about you see some of the smaller size schools, is you see basically the whole school comes.
Yeah.
So that's really nice to see that.
That'll be an interesting matchup, too. Miami Country Day is 29-1. They're top ranked in 3A. Father Lopez ranked number 2. Father Lopez making their first trip since they went back-to-back in 2005. Also won a state title.
Yeah, Miami Country Day, they beat a very good Seffner team. Kind of handled them pretty well. And again, one of those situations that sometimes comes out like we were talking about before. Seffner really had trouble handling the press. And again, when you're the better team, you don't get pressed a whole lot. So you come here and it's something new for you, and it's hard to practice against the press. Because your starters are obviously starters, and your second team for a reason. So it's really hard to kind of emulate the pressure of a good team's press, like you see right there.
No foul despite the contact.
Yeah.
Surprised?
Well, I think that's one of those things about a teams that press. Team seems that they get away with a little bit more because they're constantly applying pressure. Yeah, I definitely think that was a foul. But if you'll follow and pay attention, those teams that pressure all the time get away with a whole lot more.
Well, the Wildcats have got to figure out the press if they want to have a chance in this one. That's their 13th turnover. They cannot turn it over that many times against a good team. Salter up and under, flips it up with the left hand, almost went down. And a rebound foul against FAMU.
And be shooting the bonus here. But yeah, you're saying, the press there, they're really, really struggling against that. And like I said, if you look at their games this year, they just didn't have a lot of very close games. And they played some bigger schools, even like Gibbs High School and Plant. And but to take a program to a next level, I really think you kind of have to stack some of those games where you're a 10-point underdog, so you get used to the press or playing from behind.
Tamisha Cohen at the line shooting a 1-and-1. 56% free throw shooter. Wildcats have missed 4 free throws. They trail by 11. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening half here in the Class 2A state championship game from the Lakeland Center. A runner down the lane. Shot was no good by Jones. Got it back, though.
I thought Barrington was going to bust another 3 right there. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Salter back to Barrington. Kind of tough to think about it when you got 6'2" Manuel thinking about jumping out on you.
Right there, maybe not a good idea. All Manuel has to do is put her hand up and block it.
McNeely in the lane. How about the rebound against three white jerseys?
Yeah, FAMU is just really going after everything. Really has Academy rattled right now.
Second basket of the game for Regine Garner. And they throw it away.
And again, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I really feel like maybe this is a situation of, a team's being challenged that just not quite been there.
Good idea by Salter, but a little bit too hot to handle. Salter had a little pepper on that.
oh, bad pun number 1. You're buying dinner. No, that's good stuff there. And that's her second pretty good pass to where her teammate wasn't ready for it. But yeah, that one was maybe a little too hard.
This foul is called on Mager. That's her first, team second. Under 2 minutes to play in the opening half.
But as you can see there, Salter has really, really good court vision.
Yeah.
And, she's definitely going to get a nice look at the next level.
And she's definitely in the more of the flow of this game than she was in the semifinals. She got in early foul trouble in that first game.
Well, it's hard to do because she's pretty smart. One of the things I was going to mention, she played the whole fourth quarter with 4 fouls. But you can't play the same with 4 fouls. You're just kind of staying out of the way. And you can see here clearly just she's involved in everything. Good passes, good shots, rebounding, left hand, right hand.
Tamisha Cohen picks up her second foul. Salter to the line to shoot 2 shots. Shoots 76% on the season. And that now gives her 7 points in the half. Substitution as Gittens checks out. Santiago checks in. Chance to give her team a 15-point advantage.
Nice touch.
She got the shooter's bounce.
You get the ball hit the rim 5-6 times and still go to roll. You got some nice touch. She spent some time on that.
And the ball almost stolen away. Good hands by Garner.
Yeah, just Academy just really rattled. There's my bad pun, the Rattlers. Really struggling getting any sort of offensive flow. It looks like Cohen might be hurt a little bit for Academy. She's just holding her elbow there.
Well, it looks like they may play for the final shot as we wind down to a minute to play in the half.
And again, if you're FAMU, do you want to go in the halftime up 15? Or since you're kind of on a roll, do you want to extend it? And it looks like he's going to try to pull them out there a little bit. And as much as the Academy's kind of struggled with the pressure, I wouldn't mind putting some half-court pressure on them there. I wouldn't let them just hold it. And then again, going in up 15, most of the time you'll take that.
McNeely out defending. And that draws a foul, the first on Salter. Tamisha Cohen was shooting a 2, so she'll get 2 shots.
Yeah, what's really hurting Academy right now is Andrea Mager as well. She averages almost 18 points a game, and she's being shut out right now with only 4 shot attempts herself.
5'8" senior Cohen now with 4 points. And she got them both.
Yeah, Academy, their big 3, Manuel, Cohen, and Mager, are all seniors. FAMU's still got a lot coming back. Salter's just a junior, Jones is a freshman, and McNeely's just a 10th grader. So they're not going away anytime soon.
Under 20 seconds to play in the half. Loose ball picked up by Garner. And a try for three by the freshman Jones.
Well, if you caught that, the student section from Academy was going 3-2-1 with 10 seconds left. Oh, there you go.
Gittens missed the layup. And that'll do it for the first half. FAMU will take a Baker's dozen lead into the locker room, 26-13. The defending state champions looking for title number 2 in a row. Our halftime score, Tallahassee FAMU 26, Academy at the Lakes, out of Land O'Lakes 13. Stay tuned. We'll come back with numbers from the first half and have the second half for you right here on the FHSAA Network.
The FHSAA Basketball Championships are brought to you by the Florida Peanut Producers Association.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Out here away from it all, a guy can get to thinking, what makes peanuts America's most popular nut? Well, for one thing, they've got more antioxidants than broccoli, carrots, or even green tea. Why, they're a bona fide superfood with more than 30 vitamins and nutrients. And the taste, well, that's pretty hard to beat. Yes, when you really think about it, good things happen for a reason. I'm Nick Marshall, and I'm a Florida peanut farmer. I dig peanuts, so you can dig them too.
Welcome back to the Lakeland Center. Mike Rideout along with St. Pete Northeast coach Will White, who got his team to 3 Final Fours, 2008, 2009, 2010. And coach, it's just so tough just to get here.
Oh, yeah. People understand the path. You basically have to win your district. And, so there's between 4 to 6 other teams in that, and then 3 tough games just to get here, just to get to the Final Four, more or less the finals. So you have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games to win a state championship. Each level getting harder and harder.
Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. FAMU shot 33.3%, 11 of 33. They were 2 of 9 beyond the arc and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. They out-rebounded Academy of the Lakes at the Lakes 23-18. Wildcats were just 20% shooting in the first half, 4 of 20, 1 of 5 beyond the arc, and 4 of 8 from the free throw line. 14 turnovers. They had twice as many turnovers as the Baby Rattlers. What are some of the numbers that jumped out to you in the first half?
Yeah, there's two things that usually correlate: turnovers and shot attempts by the other team. So you see FAMU has 13 more attempts shooting-wise, and so you see 7 turnovers, so that's 7 extra possessions that they have that Academy didn't get to shoot, that they got to shoot, so you double that, and you're right there around that 13 or 14 more possessions, basically. Because the shooting percent, and then if you shoot 20% as Academy has, it's just going to be hard to stay in a game.
And here in a 13-point game, another jump number that is not on our stat sheet, but it's on our scoreboard here. FAMU outscored Academy at the Lakes 14-4 in the paint.
Yeah, that's kind of, Salter would kind of get some in there, and Manuel scored a couple early, and then she was kind of quiet after that. About midway through the first quarter, she kind of went away, and you didn't see as many shot attempts from her.
So our halftime score, FAMU leading Academy at the Lakes 26-13 as FAMU looks to win back-to-back state titles in Class 2A. Baby Rattlers won it last year on a really a last-second shot, a shot by our reigning 2A Player of the Year, LaKara Salter, who hit a 3 at the top of the key to give the Baby Rattlers a 55-53 win over Hollywood Christian in last year's 2A title game.
Yeah, that's something you can never take away somebody. I hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to win a state championship. And we were talking about this before the game, and they were down at the time. So it's not one of those, it's like a field goal kicker shooting a ball when the game is tied. Not nearly the pressure as when you're going for 3 when you're down 2 or down 1, where you have to make it to win, and if you miss it, you lose. And she drained it, absolutely drained it.
This Academy at the Lakes team is not accustomed to losing. They've only lost twice this year. They started the year 16-0 before being defeated by Sefner Christian 63-45. Their only other loss was the final game of the regular season when they lost to Academy of Holy Names 42-38. What do you feel like they have to do to get back in this game?
Yeah, one, because the full court pressure, they really didn't have as many turnovers. It really comes back to what we said before, is all those unforced errors. I think most coaches can deal with turnovers where, you're trying to make a play. Like Salter had a couple turnovers on passes that were pretty good passes, maybe just a little too hard. But Academy at the Lakes are making these turnovers with really not a lot of pressure. So they just need to calm down, move the ball, and they got to get the ball to Manuel a little bit more. And they have her kind of posting up around the high post. And I'd really like to get her a lot more around the basket, because even though Salter's strong in size, Manuel has 4 or 5 inches on her. So really try to pound that ball inside a little bit. And if you have maybe change up your pressure, because Academy hasn't got a lot out of their full court press. So maybe go to a 3/4 court press, maybe a half court trap, and try to create some offense with your defense that way.
I'm sure this contributed to it, but the Wildcats had just 1 field goal in the second quarter of play. They were outscored 14-5 in the second as FAMU stretched a 4-point lead into a 13-point lead at the break. Let's take a look at the individual totals, and we'll take one final timeout and get you ready for the second half. For FAMU, they were led in the first half by LaKara Salter, who was on her way to a double-double. She had 8 points and 9 rebounds in the first half. Also 6 points for Barrington on a couple of shots beyond the arc. 4 points apiece for Regine Garner, Janiyah McNeely, and Jasmine Jones. A total of 26 points for FAMU at the break. Academy at the Lakes was led in the first half by Tatiana Manuel, who had 7 points on 3 of 6 shooting. She had 4 rebounds, also 3 big turnovers too. 5 points for Cohen. Tamisha Cohen had 7 turnovers though in the first half. That certainly has to change. And then Andrea Mager, you keep wondering when she's going to get going. She was held without a field goal in the first half. Mager leads the team in scoring and at almost 18 points a game, but only 1 point at the break for Mager. That's a total of 13 first half points for Academy at the Lakes. There's our halftime score. FAMU 26, Academy at the Lakes 13. You're watching live coverage of the Class 2A State Championship game here on the FHSAA Network. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Lakeland Center. 26-13. FAMU of Tallahassee with a 13-point lead over the Wildcats of Academy at the Lakes. And a matchup of two of the top 3 teams in the state in Class 2A. FAMU top-ranked defending state champion. Knocked off number 2 Grandview Prep 53-49 in the semis. And now Academy of the Lakes, after their big win over Sheridan Hills Christian, a game that featured a rolling clock, a running clock. Here they are down by 13 against a good FAMU team. Academy at the Lakes looking for their first ever girls basketball state championship. Also seeking Pasco County's first state title. And it's been a long time, since 1986, that a team from Pasco County has played in a girls basketball final. 1A has been decided. South Walton won their first ever state title.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just odd when you hear some of those sort of things. You know, like an entire county, you would just think every now and then maybe some team catch lightning in a bottle, you know. So in the history of fill in the blank, those are always really strange to me. Yeah. That's a long time.
So we're ready for the second half. It will be Wildcats basketball. Again, the Wildcats with only 1 field goal in that second quarter when they were outscored 14-5. Thanks to our producer, Nick Minori, Mike Rideout, along with Will White.
So I was just paying attention here. It looks like Regine Garner here. She's kind of really staring down.
She is.
Casanello here. And I was just kind of got caught up watching that a little bit. And she's ready to play. Yeah. Nothing unsportsmanlike or whatever, but just like, hey, I'm ready to play. And so I was really admiring that. You know, she's, again, nothing unsportsmanlike or whatever, but she's just letting her know, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to play, let's go. Right here on the ball.
Casanello gets it in to Cohen. Cohen draws the foul.
Okay, here we go.
I like the aggressiveness, attacking the basket early.
Taking it right there. Yeah, it seems like everything kind of goes through Cohen. You know, the pure ball handler. She played just a little out of control that first half, and that kind of tied into some of those turnovers. So if she can kind of get it back on track here a little bit, look for Academy to maybe make a little bit of a dent into this lead. So right now you're just kind of looking at, you know, like little milestones. Hey, at the halfway through, the media timeout, let's have this at 10 points or 8 points, just under 10. And by the end of the quarter, let's have it a 4 or 6 point game. So you don't try to make it all up at one time. The famous baseball saying, there's no such thing as a 5-run homer. So just peck away.
Cohen hits 1 of 2. The foul was on Sims, her second. And it's a 12-point game.
The Academy showed a 3/4 court trap there, and then they fell into man. Someone's wide open right over here.
Pass thrown away, but it goes off the hand of Cohen. So it remains with the Baby Rattlers.
Again, you see Salter, you know, you think a strong girl like that play a little bit more back to the basket sort of thing, but she really is more of a pure forward. You'll see here, you know, that 12-foot range most of the time.
Garner draws the foul, and Regine will shoot 2 shots.
Which is why I think that she's going to excel really great at that next level, because, you know, she's a little undersized to be a pure center, even a pure forward at that next level, but she's got the ball handling and the shooting ability to really play a strong 3 at the next level.
First free throw good for Garner. She has 5. Yeah, but Salter, you know, still with another year left. In fact, if you look at this this FAMU team, they've got a few players coming back, including the freshman Jones that we've talked about.
And McNeely, the 10th grader.
Yep.
You know, so they're staggered pretty well. You know, again, it's those teams, you know, you never rebuild. You always just reload. And I think part of that is the kids come in with that expectation. Your better athletes play the sport at the school that has a really good reputation. So, you know, once you build it, it's the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. So you build that strong program, and people want to come there, and they work hard way ahead of time. So when they come as 9th graders, they want to play right away. So that's why I think you see a lot of these repeat teams coming back again and again and again.
Baby Rattlers force another turnover. They lead by 13.
Boy, McNeely's really working hard to get open. And you see Gittens really making it tough for her. Well, this is like her 4th time back and forth here at the wing, number 10, if you see her on the left wing. And really being guarded well by Gittens.
Shot by Jones, won't go down, but another long rebound tracked down by Sims. Back to the freshman. Jones making her move. Able to feed it to the baseline to Garner. Garner gives it up. Now Salter will shoot a 3. Actually, they're going to give her a 2.
Yeah, again, that's why I really feel like she's going to be a superstar at that next level. Being able to play that outside position at 5'10".
Yeah, when you can bang inside, but then you can step out and shoot a 3.
She is going to be a tough. Already is obviously this level. Even at that next level, she'd be a tough matchup for a lot of teams. And she's got really good basketball IQ. You can tell just where are people open, making that pass. Really good court vision.
And she's now just 1 rebound away from her average of a double-double a game. A whistle and a foul called against FAMU. That will be the 2nd foul on Regine Garner.
Yeah, Academy is going to be interesting next year because, again, their big 3 are all seniors. And I haven't seen as much out of the other players. And even Gittens, number 12, who's out there, is also a senior. So they're very senior-laden.
Yeah, in fact, 4 seniors in the starting lineup compared to only 1 for FAMU. Wildcats down 15. Pass deflected. They had Cohen open, but just couldn't get it to her. There's Salter, deflected though, and stolen. Casanello.
Definitely looked like a reach from behind. Well, they even call it off of her. Once he got the ball pretty, he obviously had a better angle than we did over here. Just
another turnover for the Wildcats.
Maybe just a little too quick for her there.
That's the 18th turnover of the game.
They've really focused on defending McNeely. Almost looks like they're in a man, but they're really sagging off some other, or they're in a triangle and 2 defense.
Jones hands it off to McNeely. Boy, she was closely guarded. Ball deflected into the backcourt. That's touched by Casanello.
Looks like Academy's in a triangle and 2, meaning Jones is being man-to-man and McNeely's being man-to-man, and the other 3 are really camped out around the basket.
Manuel got another block. Wildcats trying to cut into this 15-point deficit. And as Cohen took it to the baseline, she got fouled. This will be on Jones. That's going to be the 2nd on the freshman.
Yeah, Academy defense, not really that bad. You're at 30 points right now. But they're just going to have to get some points here if they want to kind of stay in. Another really unforced turnover.
Yeah, the 19th leads to a run out too, and a lay-in for the freshman Jones.
Again, that's that double negative. And not only is it a turnover, but a lot of times that just gives the other team a really easy, high percentage shot opportunity. So you lose a good shot opportunity and you lead to the other team getting a good one.
Another steal. Let's see if it leads to another score. Jones splits defenders. Can't get the shot to go down, but she draws the foul, and the freshman will shoot 2 shots.
And she got a little sideways there. If she'd kind of stayed more square to defender, she might have been able to draw out a charge there. But you see a lot of younger players turning a little bit because they're afraid of that contact, and that'll often lead to a block.
2nd foul on Mager. FAMU has outscored Academy at the Lakes 13-1 points off the turnovers. First free throw attempt of the game for Jones.
Yeah,
Jones,
freshman who averages 14 points a game. That's
but shoots just 50%, so that's certainly an area that she'll have to improve on.
That's one of the keys I wrote down. Other than Salter, who shoots 74%, most of the rest that get any significant minutes are 55% or less. So it became a free throw shooting game. FAMU kind of struggled a little bit.
They didn't shoot many in the first half. 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
That's one thing you've seen with girls basketball really diminish the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Girls basketball is tremendously better, I think, than it has been. It's grown a lot, but at the same time, you see those shooting percentages has really fallen way off as kids maybe focus more time on shooting threes and spin moves and stuff. But the free throw percentage has really, really dropped off.
Timeout on the floor. FAMU with an 18-point lead under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter as the Baby Rattlers look to win back-to-back in Class 2A. Let's take a break. We'll return to the Lakeland Center right after this.
The FHSAA Basketball Championships are brought to you by the Florida Peanut Producers Association.
Want to remind you that the FHSAA
one thing
girls
that
basketball
really
finals
jumps
are
out right now
presented
is
by Florida
points in
Peanut
the paint.
Growers. Peanuts, energy for the good life. Florida's family peanut farmers, proud to grow peanuts, which provide plenty of energy for the viewing and playing of Florida's high school basketball. Four minutes and 40 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Wildcats down 18. All knocked out of bounds. Last touch, though, by FAMU. Rattlers continue to press.
Yeah, some of the stats again really jumping out as points in the paint, 16-4 FAMU. Second chance points, 13-7. And points off turnovers. FAMU has 14, Academy 1.
And another turnover by the Wildcats. Baby Rattlers 25-4 on the season.
Yeah, definitely a triangle and two defense. Again, you see them really trying to shut down Jones and McNeely and then everyone else, but it's kind of hard to rebound out of a good triangle and two. Get a lot of those long rebounds that we've seen FAMU get.
Casanella, lost that one out of bounds. So FAMU retains possession, 4:11 to play in the third quarter. There's Jones in the lane, in and out and back in for the freshman.
That's a nice little half hook. Really use your body to keep the defender off. That's a tough shot to stop. Another unforced turnover.
McNeely after the turnover. Rebounded by Casanello. No, taken back by FAMU, and it leads to another basket. Jones now in double figures. She has scored 7 of her 11 in the third quarter. And FAMU has really opened this thing up now to a 22-point lead.
Wow, and again, just come back to the fact that's just a freshman and, averaging 14 points a game, 8 rebounds as a freshman. Wow, she's got a bright future ahead of her there. And again, FAMU with their core 3 coming back, and 2 of the 3, coming back for even another year. So, FAMU's definitely set up nice for the future.
3 minutes, 49 seconds to play. Third quarter action in this Class 2A state championship.
Another good FAMU player, just a sophomore, Garner, number 14. And she's 6 points, 5 rebounds a game.
Let's check it out. One of the, perhaps one of the moms, maybe.
Yeah, if that's your mom, you're the one. And I love it, but you're like, Mom, sit down. Sit down. We have someone, a mom really having a little too much fun dancing over there. But that's what you want to see. Just come out, put your hair down, have some fun. This doesn't happen every year for most people.
And again, Wildcats never won a state title, so how can you not get excited about this?
Yeah, really have out. Just that's something you'll remember forever.
Full court pressure again by FAMU. And they create another turnover. McNeely will back it out. She brings it up top to Sims. Jones already in double figures. One of a couple of players, in fact, for the Baby Rattlers. There's the other one there, Salter with a miss. Salter got it back and puts it in.
Yeah, got a strong motor. Just go, 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 go.
LaCara Salter now with 12 points. After a miss laid in by Manuel.
Yeah, I wish I had that here. I think, if I'm looking at this right, just thinking out loud, that might have been their first shot attempt of the half.
Salter lays it in and draws the foul. Well, it was their first field goal of the third quarter.
Yeah, I believe they'd only had 20 shot attempts at halftime, and then when we just got the stats now, that was their first, and they just scored right there.
Wow.
Their first shot attempt in 5 minutes.
You're not going to win any games that way.
Absolutely not. Not even a four-corner, you know. That's why I had to double-check the stats here is, you know, it really, yeah, you see that the stats just popped up here. That was the miss and then the putback were their first 2 shots of the half.
Well, I guess a good way of looking at it is they're 1 for 1, right?
Yeah, they're good shooting percentage at least.
Shooting 100% in the second half.
Nice call here.
Foul.
That's a good thing. Like, you know, when you have 3 officials, you know, you have one official that always is really looking at off-the-ball stuff. So when you get at these high-level games or big games, you definitely want to have 3 because they can clean up all those things that are going in off the ball. Because you got one guy looking at the post, one looking at the ball, one person looking at everything else. So you get those illegal screens.
Once again, our officials, the referee, Charlie Brown, as that one rims out. David Diggs and Alex August are the umpires. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. 40-16, FAMU.
If we asked all the girls out there and we said Charlie Brown, I wonder how many would think Peanuts.
Right. Hey, it's funny because we're sponsored by Peanuts.
There you go. See, it all comes together. It all comes full circle.
Right.
Yeah, we always forget these kids. Had a student I was talking about, Peter Brady from the Brady Bunch. They had no idea who the Brady Bunch was.
Wow. How can you not know who the Brady
Bunch?
Exactly.
I was stunned.
Cohen makes her move and draws a foul.
I think one of the things that Academy really looked to do this offseason is pump up that schedule. They went to a tough Christmas tournament. They played, you know, against some 8A, 7A schools, Plant, Gibbs. They played Sefner, Tampa Catholic, Academy at the Holy Names. But maybe pump up that schedule a little bit more, you know, because they're obviously doing some good things. They've been to a Final Four. They're in the finals. But if you want to take it to that next level, you know, really get your kids ready.
Cohen banks home 2 more. She's got 8. 22-point lead for FAMU. Shot blocked away. Another block for Manuel. And it goes out of bounds. It belongs to the Wildcats. I thought maybe the Wildcats would have a little bit of an advantage coming in because they had such a big win in the semifinals. Really kind of put it on cruise control in that one.
Yeah. And again, sometimes maybe that's, you know, a blessing can be a curse.
True.
You know, because you kind of come and you've had that experience of pull out a tight game, just like FAMU did against Grandview Prep. But yeah, I thought it might be a little bit closer than this as well. And
I think that, you know, with Salter being in foul trouble in the semifinals, as that one.
Yeah, they probably would have pulled away from that game.
Well, with Salter being, you know, in foul trouble, but then coming out so aggressive in this one, I think that's what kind of got FAMU going early. Barrington knocks down her 3rd 3 of the game. 9 points for the senior.
And again, coming into the game, only had 11 for the season. If I wrote that stat down right, which I believe I did. So she's having the game of her life.
And open.
Well, she is going to remember this game.
Yeah, she's in double figures now with 11. She averages 5 a game.
40 years from now, she's going to have her grandchild on her lap and just telling her about that state championship game where she hit 3 threes and a couple 2s and brought home a state championship.
I want to remind you folks that if you would like a DVD copy of today's game, visit us online at FHSAAsports.com. Traveling is called. Again, that's FHSAAsports.com.
Yeah, definitely need to get one of those, because people aren't going to believe you. You're like, yeah, right, come on, Grandma, I don't believe you. Pull out the DVD, there it is, and, that's such a great deal. Come here, just kind of watch the game, get the DVD because, so you're not trying to film this, that yourself. It's shaky, you're jumping up and down, it's loud, so just get that good quality tape and it'll last forever.
And, of course, our play-by-play.
Hey, that's priceless. That's priceless. That is absolutely priceless.
Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. FAMU with a big lead in this Class 2A state championship game. A little out of control there. And that's traveling called on Garner. Get a reminder, 4 games on tap tomorrow. We invite you back at noon for the 6A semifinals. Looking forward to the 6A semifinals. Again, Choctaw and Winter Haven in the first game at noon. Edgewater and Norland, that should be a good one, a matchup of top 5 teams. Norland, the state runners-up from last year in the second semifinal.
And speaking of Edgewater, isn't that where Alexis Prince played? I believe was Edgewater?
Was it Edgewater or Dr. Phillips? I think it was Dr. Phillips, wasn't it? That could be
I'm not sure because I just remember seeing I was watching Baylor and then watching Nia Johnson from PK Young and Alexis Prince playing for Baylor the other night when they were playing UConn. So it was good to see 2 Florida All-Americans.
You can Google that. We got computers here.
We'll look that up real quick.
These are cheat sheets.
I forget with the generation we live in.
Right. Cohen got fouled.
Loser buys dinner.
Right. It will
Since
be
it's
2
free.
shots for Tamisha.
But they were both playing a lot of minutes for Baylor, number 1 team in the country. So, it was kind of good to see girls that were here in the Final Four last year, bring home state championships, play for high-level basketball.
Cohen with 8 points today. Now 3 for 6 from the line. Edgewater. Okay, so you were right.
And she was MVP of the McDonald's All-American game last year. Florida's really produced some really good basketball players recently. You have Amber Henson at Duke, although she's been hurt a little bit. Nia Johnson at Baylor right now. Alexis Prince at Baylor right now. You're starting to see Florida recruit a little bit itself when you have Ronnie Williams from Atlantic, number 1 player in the state going to UF.
Played yesterday, you're right. 45-19, FAMU at the end of 3, fourth quarter coming up right after this on the FHSAA Network.
Out here, away from it all, a guy can get to thinking, what makes peanuts America's most popular nut? Well, for one thing, they've got more antioxidants than broccoli, carrots, or even green tea. Why, they're a bona fide superfood with more than 30 vitamins and nutrients. And the taste, well, that's pretty hard to beat. Yes, when you really think about it, good things happen for a reason. I'm Nick Marshall, and I'm a Florida peanut farmer. I dig peanuts, so you can dig them too.
Once again, today's broadcast presented by Florida Peanut Growers. Peanuts, energy for the good life. Florida's family peanut farmers are proud to grow peanuts, which provide plenty of energy for the viewing and playing of Florida's high school basketball. You look at the 19 points scored today for the Wildcats. Cohen has 9. Manuel has 9. They've got 18 of their 19 points.
Yeah, they're really missing Mauger scoring a little bit. And part of that, again, is just shot attempts. She's hardly gotten any shot attempts off. And Manuel's only 7 attempts, and she had scored 2 really, really early. So for a majority of the game, really only getting 5 more attempts, they're hardly even being able to get her the ball, which is one of the disadvantages of if your best player is a post player, you got to have someone be able to give her the ball.
Mauger averages almost 18 a game. She's only attempted 3 shots today.
Yeah, and just 1 point from the free throw line. And again, it seems like the pressure for FAMU is just a little too much for Academy in the half court. They're not able to drive and pitch and try to get somebody open. Just really discombobulated. And again, I give that more credit to FAMU than anything against Academy. Because so many teams would love to be here at this moment. But FAMU's just really got it going on, and that's why they're number 1 in the state.
Right. 3 players in double figures. LaKara Salter with a double-double, 14 points, 10 boards. Also 11 points for Jasmine Jones, 11 for Aaliyah Barrington. Rattlers turn it over. Here in the second half, FAMU shooting 50% from the floor, 8 of 16.
Now here, if you're a coach, really what you're trying to do is, kind of go off on a strong note. Game, you've seen some crazier things. I saw a really good Lakewood team. They were up 20 points with 4 minutes to go against Atlantic, and Atlantic came back to win that in regulation. So game's never over, but you're really trying to get some things to work on to make sure that your team's ready, to go into that off season with something positive. Hey, we had a great fourth quarter. We made some plays, all those things.
Nice move as Cohen got by Salter, got inside and drew the foul.
And give Academy credit. They played hard. There's no doubt. Sometimes you see teams maybe struggle a little bit and you kind of maybe feel like they gave up. That's definitely not the case here. They're still battling, getting on the ground, fighting for loose balls. FAMU is just a powerhouse. That's a tough team right there.
Tamisha Cohen looking to reach double digits. She averages 12.8 a game. She makes this free throw, she'll have 10.
Yeah, and you see when you have a point guard averaging almost 7 rebounds a game, to me that equals hard. Someone just plays really, really hard because they got to come in from far away. They're not just standing around watching what's going on. So that's a tough player, and she's deserves all the accolades she gets.
Williams with a miss, but Salter was right there to clean it up.
And didn't even come back down to the ground. Again, just that equals good hands. So she's just a complete package, and it's really fun watching her. I had a lot of fun watching her play last year when I saw this game was on the schedule, and then being able to see that, I was really looking forward to watching her play again.
And to think she's got another year.
Yes. You see her there, she's filling that backside block really well. She's going to clean this up if there was a miss. She just really knows where to be.
Jasmine Jones with 13 points. It's a 29-point lead for FAMU. Deep three comes up short for Cohen.
I think it may be somewhat a byproduct. When you have some of these lopsided scores that you've seen Academy have throughout the season, probably a majority of those points are coming in transition. You're getting steals, you're pushing that ball forward. So, how many games have they had where they've really had to get set in a half-court offense and be challenged in that? And I think that's really showing tonight to where they're just really struggling with their half-court, even when they do get the ball forward, really getting any sort of set.
Couple players getting some playing time now. Ambrielle Scott, number 11, a 6-foot freshman. Number 12, Michaela Williams, a 5'9 senior. Salter, nice spin move, and hits the nice fadeaway shot.
Wow.
18 points for the 2A player of the year, LaKara Salter.
Coach's dream right there. Do lots of things. Now FAMU, from FAMU's perspective, now what are you trying to do? Well, like you just said there, number 11 coming in, that's a 9th grader. Obviously someone that maybe they're looking forward to getting in next year.
It's kind of hard to bank in a 3 in the corner, but Moggard,
she did it.
She'll take it. That's her first field goal of the game. So Moggard with 4 points. And they needed that. We were getting close to a running clock.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want in a finals, But really, yeah, like from FAMU's perspective now, it's sort of the same thing that I'd said about Academy a second ago. And that's why it was really interesting for him to put the freshman number 11 in, get the next group ready, right? Hopefully you want to keep coming back. So he's obviously knows what he's doing very, very well. So get maybe a couple of kids in to where when they come back next year and maybe she's playing major minutes, hey, I've been here. I've played in a Final Four, no big deal. So you might see him start to work in some other people as well.
So FAMU will repeat. And we will soon find out whether or not Dr. Phillips will repeat, Edgewater, Dillard. Still 3 other teams that could repeat this week.
Dillard is very, very tough. And one of the greatest coaches around probably in the history of basketball, Marcia Pender. Just
36 years.
Oh, wow.
Is she the longest tenured coach?
Gotta be. And almost 900 wins. And
yeah.
Just every year.
5:23 remaining. 51-23. FAMU out in front. Don't forget, tomorrow our coverage begins at noon for the 6A semifinals. Choctaw and Winter Haven, followed by Edgewater and Norland at 1:30.
I will definitely have to be sneaking that on my computer while I'm at work tomorrow. And there's nothing wrong with that because finals basketball, semifinals basketball, that's acceptable. It's like March Madness.
Right, exactly.
Everybody understands.
You have the little screen that'll pop up, make it look like you're working,
just
doing
right
some
there.
work.
Exactly.
Don't forget we have the championships tomorrow as well. Ribault and Coral Springs Charter at 4:35, followed by the other championship game tomorrow night. After a miss, Rattlers keep it alive.
Now Barrington might erase that part on her DVD.
Right.
When she's watching that with her grandkids.
Or she can just adjust it, make it look like it went in. You know, you can do that now.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of Photoshop. And
right,
highlight
exactly.
tape.
4.5 minutes remaining in the game. FAMU leading at 51-23, taking some air out of the basketball now. Pass inside, deflected, and now picked up by Casanello.
Casanello, I think she's got a really bright future. Just a freshman, one of the few really young players for Academy.
All right. Easy lay in there for the freshman, Jones.
Well, I still can't get over she's a freshman. Because sometimes, you see freshmen that are successful, but she's got a frame of a senior. You look at her, just strong, sleek, fast.
How about the girl from Miami Country Day, the 8th grader? Did you see her play?
I did. I didn't realize she was an 8th grader.
Shanice Lewis?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think Jones last year was an 8th grader that played for FAMU. Didn't she play last year, I think, at FAMU as an 8th grader? I can't recall, but.
There's the freshman in the lane again for 2 more. 6 of her 17 in the quarter.
Yeah, you hear someone behind us probably yelling what a lot of people are thinking. They're yelling subs. Maybe get a couple people a chance to get in there to play, and that's exactly what you see. You see Caitlin Stevens starting to get up off the bench.
Well, here they come, yeah. 4 of them set to check in. And that's a good move there by Coach to call timeout so he can get them in. 3 minutes and 13 seconds to play. This is not the media timeout. 55-23, FAMU. Well, actually, that does take us to the media timeout. So we'll take a timeout with them. 3:13 remaining here in Lakeland. FAMU cruising to the Class 2A state championship.
The FHSAA basketball championships are brought to you by the Florida Peanut Producers Association.
Energy for Florida's high school basketball playoffs brought to you by Florida's Peanut Farmers. Peanuts, energy for the good life. Mike Rideout along with Will White. 2010 FABC State Coach of the Year. Over 250 career wins. Head coach at St. Pete Northeast. And a 3-time Pinellas County Coach of the Year.
Yeah, coming here, it's such a special event, for the players, the school. I mean, you saw like earlier, I remember like Calvary Christian bringing their whole school here, and Academy, has a really nice crowd over there. So the result doesn't really matter as much. Everybody wants to win it all, but they're going to remember that experience of the run. It's all about the journey. It's kind of a Joe Madden thing. It's all about the journey and getting there, and in the end, it will definitely be a positive experience.
Kind of different experience for you to be sitting on this side of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's the thing I miss the most is preparing for all those games, kind of on that run. And we're getting close. We actually lost to a really good Clearwater team by 5, and so we're kind of building it up. And so that's obviously our goal is to kind of get here.
Salter almost knocked down a 3. And here comes a fresh 5.
It's fun being on this side. It's a lot easier to coach over here.
Right. Big game today for junior and reigning 2A Player of the Year, LaKara Salter. 18 points, 11 rebounds. Also 17 points today and 10 rebounds for the freshman Jasmine Jones. So 2 players with double-doubles.
And what you like from both of them is both shooting around 50%. It's not like a 20-point game where, they've been taking every kind of crazy shot. Just really solid game. High percentage shots, getting their teammates involved, earning a lot of those themselves on offensive rebounds. So well-deserved. Definitely well-deserved.
And hugs at the end of the bench for FAMU. The freshman, the junior, Jones, Salter. Also, Barrington with 11 points today.
Yeah,
So
winning never gets old.
3 players in double figures.
Yep, their big three both kind of. I think that part of the difference there, their big three kind of, had a game that they expected, and Academy just really struggled getting in any sort of flow. But like I said, I really give more credit to FAMU for that than really anything Academy.
And with the starters, McNeely, Jones, Garner, Salter coming back, how long do you think it'll take before they start talking about three-peat?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah.
by the time they get back to the locker room and by the time they get to the media room, that's definitely going to be what they're talking about. And, that's you always – and then as the coach, hey, you really want to keep your team motivated, so you're going to keep talking about that. Hey, this is over. We've won it, so let's get 3 in a row.
Tamisha Cohen with 11 today to lead the Wildcats. Only player in double figures. But again, one of only 3 players to score. Wildcats just didn't get much help. And Mager had an off game, only 4 points.
You see Academy getting some people ready too. Number 1, Taylor Pulaski, is just a 7th grader. You'll see her here in a second on the screen on the left wing. So we've got a 7th grader in there, making sure, maybe that's the next wave. That's your future. In 2 years, she'll be the experienced freshman. There's Mager for 3.
That one a lot better looking than the other one she banked in from the corner. So 7 points for Mager. Under 2 minutes to play. FAMU turns it over.
I've already liked what I saw out of Pulaski over there, the 7th grader, really fighting off the screens and everything. So as a coach, those are things you start looking for. You're going to graduate a lot of seniors, so can you get some other people ready? Not afraid to shoot. That high energy.
Sims picks up her 4th foul, and it's going to send the 7th grader Pulaski to the line to shoot 3 free throws.
3 shots for the Wildcats.
Pulaski did get some time in the blowout win. She played 13 minutes, scored 6 points.
And I think she had 25 3-pointers on the year, so she definitely got some minutes this year.
Looking for her first point tonight. McNeely just checked out of the game. Wildcat season will come to an end at 26-3. But they had a great run. Getting to the state championship game.
That's a big trophy for the trophy case.
And as we mentioned earlier, it's the first time that a girls basketball team from Pasco County has gotten to a championship game since 1986.
Yeah, so again, that's, right now pretty quickly those things will sink in. You're going to see some tears here and some sadness, but, on the ride home, by the time they get home, maybe tomorrow, that stuff will start reaching in. Hey, you know what? We were 26-3. We did make a state championship game. We were the first team in 26 years to make it this far. And they'll be very proud, and they should be.
Leon with a rebound. Here comes FAMU. Under a minute to play in the game. Pennywell with a miss, but followed in.
Kaylin Stevens averaging under a point a game, so this is a good opportunity again, getting somebody else, a senior, in a chance that's been working every day, hard in practice. When we lost our state championship, I had a player like that, and she scored. And I told her, hey, how many people can go home and tell their kids in the future, I scored in a state championship game.
First basket of the game for Lulu Santiago, the freshman, with her first points of the game. After the basket by Stevens, the senior. You got to get a DVD if your daughter, a senior, last game scores in the state championship, right? Go to FHSAsports.com. How about that? Pulaski knocks down a 3 just before the buzzer. And that'll do it. FAMU has won back-to-back in Class 2A. The final score, FAMU 57, Academy at the Lakes 34. Wildcat season ends at 26-3, and the Baby Rattlers 26-4 are your 2013 Class 2A state champion. That's going to do it for our coverage here on day 2. We invite you back tomorrow beginning at noon for the 6A semifinals. 4 games on tap tomorrow. Today's game has been brought to you by Florida's Peanut Farmers. Now speaking for our producer, Nick Minori, and for my color commentator, St. Pete Northeast coach Will White, I'm Mike Rideout saying so long for now from the FHSAA Girls Basketball Finals here in Lakeland.
First, we recognize the players and coaches of the 2013 Class 2A State Runner-Up Team. Academy at the Lakes. Presenting the medallions to the headmaster, Mark Keller. Head coach, Karina Nora. Assistant, Jean Miranda. Assistant, Mackenzie Devine. Number 1, Taylor Pulaski. Number 3, Janice Cancinella. Number 5, Tatiana Manuel. Number 10, Monique Montel. Number 11, Rebecca Allen. Number 12, Alex Giddens. Number 14, Lulu Santiago. Number 15, Tanisha Cohen. Number 22, Adrian Longer. Number 23, Christina Starr. And now will the seniors come forward and accept the trophy with your head coach. Your 2013 2A runner-up, Academy at the Lakes, Wildcats. Of the 2013 Class 2A State Champion Team, the FAMU Rattlers. Presenting will be John Bell, Lakeland Principal. And the Athletic Director, Ira Reynolds. Head coach, Ahmad Ali. Assistant coach, James Brown. Chef, McNeely. Vince Hartley. Clark Washington. Patrice Broadnax. Number 2, Chelsea Thomas. Number 3, Aaliyah Barrett. Number 10, Janaya McNeely. Number 11, Ambrielle Scott. Number 12, Michaela Williams. Number 14, Ray G. Gardner. Number 15, Sharice Aaliyah. Number 23, Jackson Jones. Number 32, Keon Sims. Number 33, Caleb Pennywell. Number 42, Caitlin Stevens. And number 44, Harris Salter. Bookkeeper, Chastity Farrell. Trainer, Juanita Sardra. Trainer, Arnold With the two team captains and 6 seniors coming to accept the trophy with your head coach. Your 2013 2A champion, the FAMU Rattlers! That concludes our award ceremony. The City of Lakeland, Polk County Schools, and the Florida High School Athletic Association, thank you for attending tonight's game. Presenting